Good evening, everyone. We welcome you to beautiful Newport, Rhode Island, and we welcome you to the International Tennis Hall of Fame. How's everyone feeling on this enshrinement Saturday evening? I'm Brett Haber from Tennis Channel, and it is my honor to welcome you to the induction ceremony for the class of 2019. We are here today on these historic grounds, which not only house the history of our sport, but also witnessed it take place firsthand. This stunning venue, as many of you know, hosted the very first U.S. National Championships back in 1881. It now stands as a monument to those who've created the history of this beautiful sport that we love. Induction into the International Tennis Hall of Fame is the ultimate honor in the sport of tennis. It represents the sum of one's achievements and signifies a place at the highest level in the history of the game. But joining the Hall of Fame is about more than just results. Induction here signifies an individual who embodies the key principles of our sport: character, commitment, integrity, and excellence. It is an honor that only 254 individuals have received to this date. Today, three great competitors hailing from three very different corners of the globe, and each with a unique story of their own road to Newport, will join tennis's most elite ranks as Hall of Famers. And so, it is now time to introduce our three guests of honor. She was a fearless and focused competitor, a power hitter you could always count on to leave it all on the court. During an accomplished career that saw her become a Grand Slam champion first at age 20 in Australia, and again 5 years later at Roland Garros, her nation's home slam, she also achieved a ranking of world number 3 in both singles and in doubles. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Hall of Fame, Mary Pierce. When he won the Australian Open in 1996, he became Russia's first ever Grand Slam champion. But he didn't stop there. He went on to be the first ever Russian world number 1, first to win an Olympic gold medal in tennis, a Davis Cup, as well as the French Open singles title, and 4 major doubles titles. Please welcome to the Hall of Fame, Evgeny Kefelnikov. And our third guest of honor. She blazed a trail for tennis in her nation where there had not been very much interest or awareness in the sport previously. That sentiment has certainly changed after more than 116 million people tuned in to watch her capture the Roland Garros trophy in the year 2000. She went on to win Australia as well as reach the world number 2 ranking. Please welcome an athlete who inspired a nation to love this game from China, Li Na. In addition to the 3 newest members of the Hall of Fame, we are joined today by an illustrious group of existing Hall of Famers who are here on the stage behind me, who travel, as many do each year, to welcome their newest colleagues in the Hall of Fame. We'll introduce them one by one, and feel free to let them hear your recognition. Starting with the former U.S. number 1 in the year 1967 and a Davis Cupper for this country. A dedicated tennis leader, he was one of the founding members of the ATP, the founder of today's world-class tournament that we all enjoy at Indian Wells, California, a co-founder of the National Junior Tennis and Learning Network for Youth Tennis and Academic Enrichment from the class of 2013, Charlie Passerell. She is a 12-time major doubles champion, twice a Grand Slam singles finalist, and one of our sport's trailblazers in the areas of gender equity and open tennis. From the class of 1996, a member of the original 9 of women's tennis, Rosie Casals. This Aussie won 13 Grand Slam titles, including 11 in mixed doubles, and all 4 in the calendar year 1967. From the class of 2010, the great Owen Davidson. She won 17 Grand Slam doubles titles and captured 3 of the 4 in the same year for 3 straight years. A doubles world number 1, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. From the class of 2010, Gigi Fernandez. This man is an absolute legend and pioneer in his craft. He has coached 10 world number 1s, and after today, he will have coached 4 Hall of Famers: Andre Agassi, Jim Courier, Monica Selas, and Mary Pierce. Please welcome from the class of 2014, Hall of Fame coach Nick Bollettieri. This man won 7 major titles, including singles titles at the U.S. Open and Wimbledon. The world number 1 and All-American, also led the U.S. to 7 Davis Cup titles. Now the president of the International Tennis Hall of Fame. Please welcome from the class of 1987, Stan Smith. He is a 7-time Grand Slam singles champion, having won Grand Slam singles titles on 3 surfaces. 3 times a Davis Cup winner, a world number 1 from Sweden and the class of 2002, Mats Wilander. She was ranked world number 1 and was the winner of 9 Grand Slam singles titles, 8 of them captured before her 20th birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome back to Newport from the class of 2009, Hall of Famer Monica Selas. Another Australian legend with us tonight, winner of the career Grand Slam in both men's doubles and mixed doubles. 17 Grand Slam titles in all, one of the most decorated doubles players in the history of the sport. From the class of 2010, Mark Woodford. He is one of tennis's all-time great storytellers. From the class of 2017, a preeminent tennis historian and author and journalist. Please welcome back to Newport, Steve Flink. This man was a 3-time All-American at Yale, a U.S. Davis Cup player and captain of renown. He helped establish the ATP, revolutionized the way athletes conduct business as one of the first sports agents in the world. From the class of 2009, Donald Dell. It is a privilege to have all of you back at the Hall of Fame, and we hope our 3 newest members come back often. This may be an individual sport, but as most any player would tell you, success and the Hall of Fame level cannot be achieved alone. We would like to welcome, therefore, and thank the family and friends and coaches and special guests of the class of 2019 who traveled to Newport today to be part of this celebration. They are seated on the court. Would you please stand and be recognized? The 3 of you have shy and humble family and friends. Also, joining our special guests on court tonight, I'd like to acknowledge the International Tennis Hall of Fame leadership who are so dedicated to accomplishing this organization's mission of preserving tennis history and celebrating its greatest champions so as to inspire the future of this sport. Our thanks to Chairman of the Board, Mike Goss, the Hall of Fame Executive Board and Board of Governors, and the CEO of the International Tennis Hall of Fame, Todd Martin. Would you all please stand and be recognized? First up, a woman who truly represents the global nature of our sport. Canadian-born, American-raised, and a proud woman of France, she is adored around the world. 2 times a major singles champion, and soon to be a Hall of Famer, Mary Pierce. Take a look.
The bigger the match, the more important the match, the more pressure, the more stress. I love those matches the most. Just having the support of the crowd and them cheering for you and winning the point or a set or the match and just feeling the whole stadium kind of almost vibrate. It wasn't just me out there alone playing the match, but I felt like we were doing it together.
To present Mary for induction into the Hall of Fame, her former coach and a Hall of Famer himself, Nick Bollettieri.
Wow. I personally want to welcome all of you in attendance to the 2019 International Tennis Hall of Fame. The International Tennis Hall of Fame is very important to our sport. It is much more than brick and mortar. The Hall of Fame is tradition and history, giving honor to people who did not pay entry with money, but earned it with blood, sweat, and tears. Those who never, and I mean never, said, "I can't do it," but found a way to do it. I congratulate Lee Now and my man, Mr. Kefelnikov. I also want to thank Todd Martin and his dedicated staff, not only for this special weekend, but also for the continuous improvements to all of the facilities at the Hall of Fame. And a very special thank you to Jean-Yves Fillon, I can't pronounce it, for all the support BNP Paribas gives to the Hall of Fame and to tennis. And now, I didn't forget, and to our host, Brett Haber of the Tennis Channel, his humor, wit, and wisdom should make him a Hall of Fame, baby. No matter how much time and thought I have given to find a way to tell you about my Mary, it would be very difficult in the short amount of time that I have here today. Mary, you see, is much more than a great tennis champion. Her credentials speak loud and clear, winning the Australian Open, the French Open, the finals of the US Open, and helped France to 2 Fed Cups. The first time I saw Mary at the IMG Academy with her father when she was 13 years old, I had to put on my Maui Jim sunglasses. You know why? Are you kidding me? Wow. She stood right on top of the baseline, baby, and whacked every single ball with all her might. She had a naturally powerful and aggressive game from the baseline. Mary and her father ended up leaving the academy after a while. I knew she was very talented and had a lot of potential, so we Italians know how to keep one eye on her progress. And she turned professional at the tender age of 14. During my travels as a coach on tour, I ran into Mary again at a WTA tournament. Mary had a new coach, Sven Grunfeld, and she asked me if she and Sven could come back to the IMG Academy again to train, and she also asked if I would work with her again. I said, let me think about this a little bit. I wrote her a letter, baby, and I mean a letter. Believe me, it was far from a love letter. Keep in mind at times, really most of the times, the words of Nick Bollettieri have been rather direct and have not gone out over very well. Just ask my 8 wives. This may be why I'm still working, soon to be 88 next week. Mary understood my heart and goals for her and agreed to come with Swen to the academy to work with me. After several months of the grueling Mary Pierce drills, short ball, deep ball, short ball, deep ball, clean it up, Mary. She had to work 8 hours a day. But Mary was a lean and mean tennis machine. She was now physically ready to win a Grand Slam, but did she have the mental strength to go along with her ability? Well, Mary went to Australia and won the Australian Open, defeating Arantxa Sanchez Vicario in the final. Mary Pierce proved she had the physical talent, mental determination, and willingness to sacrifice whatever it takes to achieve on court. However, and listen closely, Mary is much more than a tennis champion. She is an angel. She has an incredibly warm and tender heart. She has one mission in life. How can I help you achieve your goals? I want to thank you, Mary, from the bottom of my heart for the loyalty, love, and care that you have always shown me in making sure my family was all well as at the same time. To help Mary achieve all that she has done, both on and off court, does not come about by accident. It comes about by teamwork, baby, by her beautiful mother, Yannick, and her brother, David, who was her hitting partner for hours and hours every day for most of her career. Now, Mary, close your ears. He told me he's still waiting for that bonus that you promised him. Mary Pierce, you will always be part of my life. Never change, giving your heart and soul to make the world a better place and helping people achieve their goals as you achieved your goals. It is now time that I introduce my Mary Pierce to the 2019 inductee to the International Hall of Fame. Thank you, everybody.
And now Hall of Fame President Stan Smith will present Mary with her official International Tennis Hall of Fame medal. And Nick, if you would please assist Mary with her blazer.
All right. Can I say hello to you guys? Okay. Wow. This day has finally arrived. Been waiting for this for 6 months. It was announced in January. Nick, thank you so much for introducing me today. It means a lot to me. Thank you for all those kind words, and I've always appreciated your heart, your humor, your honesty, and how you're direct. And thank you so much for introducing me today. Love you. So there's a quote that I read when I was about 18, 19 years old, and it said, the goal is only as, sorry, I thought I would start crying a lot later than this. The goal is only as worthy as the effort required to achieve it. And I remember reading that at a young age in the beginning of my professional career, and how much that really spoke to me, because how difficult things are and how much hard work and dedication it takes to achieve your goals and your dreams. And like Nick said, all the blood and the sweat and the tears that it takes is worth it. And I realized the great dreams that I had in tennis, I put them so high, and I thought to be able to achieve them, it's going to take everything of me. And like Nick said, I didn't hold back anything. And I always felt that I give 100% of myself, and that I can be very proud of and have no regrets. And dreams are like fuel. And I think my dream in tennis was to one day win the French Open. And that's what always kept me going, to think about, why am I playing tennis? The mornings when you don't want to wake up and get out of bed, when you're tired and you're sore and you just don't want to do it. But why am I doing it? It's for the dream that I had, and that was the fuel that helped me every single day when I wanted to get up and have to do what it took to accomplish my goals and to accomplish my dreams. Tennis has taught me so much in life. It's such a great teacher. It's taught me that, like I said, anything that you want to achieve doesn't come easy. It comes with hard work and dedication and sacrifice. It taught me that you need to believe in yourself, no matter what anyone says, to always believe in your dreams. Sacrifice, dedication, hard work, respect. So many incredible values that it's taught me throughout my life. And of course, the tears that you sow in pain, they later become tears of joy. It's incredible how I started playing tennis, why I started playing tennis. I wanted to be a pediatrician, originally by the age of 7. That's what I thought that I was going to do and that I thought I was going to become. But obviously, God had another plan for my life. I followed one of my friends from school, who was a great junior player in Florida. I was 10 years old. And we used to spend time together after school, do our homework together, or spend the night on the weekends at her house. And one day I just followed her to her tennis lesson. And someone asked me if I wanted to play. I said, sure. So I was given a racket. I hit a few balls, and I got changed to a couple courts. And at the end of it, about 45 minutes, an hour later, a very tall man came to me, and he said, I've never seen you here before in my club. What's your name? How old are you? And how long have you been playing tennis? I said, well, I'm Mary. I'm Rachel's friend. I'm 10 years old. I'm from here, and I've been playing about 45 minutes. And he's like, no, how many years have you been playing? And I said, no, it's my first day. And so when I told him that, he said, well, I want you to come back the next day with your parents. I said, okay. So I ran off to find Rachel, and I said, I think I'm in trouble. I have to come back with my parents tomorrow. And I came back with my parents the next day, and I can remember it as if it was yesterday. They were just standing over there talking to the coach, and I'm waiting, and then finally they come back and they say, okay, Mary, well, you're going to start to play tennis now, just like Rachel after school. I said, okay. So if it wasn't for my friend in school, and if it wasn't for that tennis coach that saw me play the first day, which obviously you must have seen something, and asked me to come back the next day, I would have never come back. I would have never been on a tennis court, and I would have never come back the next day, and I probably would have never played tennis again. So thank you, Rachel, and thank you, Kevin, for being here today. It's so special. I'm so happy that you're here. It really means a lot to me that you guys are here. Thank you so much. So obviously I started to play a lot. And I had many different coaches along my journey in tennis. And one of my coaches early on that also helped me progress throughout my tennis and my early stages was Alvaro Bittencourt, who's here. He just coached me when I was 11, 12, spending hours with me. I was supposed to have only 1 hour lesson. Alvaro would always give me 2. Always wanted to do more, always wanted to do more. And the hard work, the hours, the sweat, everything that you put in, all the time to help build my game instead of early stage. And I'm just so grateful for that. And I'll always remember you always telling me to smile when I was on the court. Maybe I was too serious. Thank you, Alvaro. Yeah. When I was 13 years old, my father decided to take me out of school. And from the very first lesson that I had in tennis, my dad was always there from the beginning. And he became my coach alongside the other coaches that I had and would take me every weekend with a huge basket of balls and practice stroke over stroke, repetition over hour. And when I was 13, he decided that he wanted to take me out of school. And I was quite sad because I loved school. And we moved to my mother's country in France. And that's when I started training probably 8 hours a day. And that was all that I did, just trained all day long. And it was very hard, those years in my life. Became pro at 14 years old, very young, thrown into an adult world, expected to act like an adult, think like an adult, speak like an adult, but we can't, we're young. And the training was very hard, to say the least. And many, many hours, like Nick said, my brother was on the court with me as my sparring partner. And much was written about my father's behavior during that time, during those years, that he was my coach, that he traveled with me. We traveled as a unit, as 4 of us, my mom, my father, my brother, and I, and a sparring partner sometimes as well. And I know that it's been a lot of talk about what happened as my father as my coach, how difficult it was for me. But I don't want to go into all of those details right now. At 18 years old, I had the help from the late Georgina Clark of the WTA Tour. And sometimes we feel like we get angels sent to us on our path in our lives and come and help us at specific moments when we really needed it. And she was definitely one of those people who came at a time in my life when I needed help. And she helped me to get out of a situation that was very difficult. And I'm grateful for her help. At that point in my life, when I was 18 years old, I thought about quitting tennis. And I thought, what do I want to do with my life? Do I want to keep playing tennis? do I want to go to school, or do I just want to get a job? And I took some time off, and I went to stay with a friend of mine. And I'll never forget that time. She took me in, had just gotten married, 2-bedroom apartment, and here's someone that comes in and took me in like a sister in a time that was so critical and pivotal in my life. And I want to thank Susie for being here and for that time and how much she helped me in that difficult time in my life. So thank you so much. So life isn't easy. We have our ups and our downs. There's pain, there's struggles, there's difficulties, there's hardships. For everyone, no matter what you do in life, we all face those things, and it's how you deal with them. And I know for me, tennis has made me resilient, and it's taught me how to persevere, to never give up, to get back up every single time that I felt like I was knocked down. I was able to get back up and to learn to persevere, to never quit, to never give up, no matter what, to always keep going. And despite all the success and the victories and the fame and everything that I achieved and had in my life, I always felt like something was missing. So at 18, I decided that I'd keep playing tennis. And that's when I had called Nick to ask him if he would coach me. And I was a bit nervous because I know he'd been coaching so many incredible champions at the time, and I don't know if he was going to coach me, so I felt like my first practice was an interview, if he was going to accept me or not. And after practice, he'd come back the next day, so I said, okay, I think that means he's going to coach me now. And, you know, Nick, you also came at a time in my life that was very difficult, and it means so much for me that you're here today, that you introduced me, because you also were like a second father to me at that time in my life. And I know, yeah. I could feel your heart for me. I know that you cared about me, that you had my best interest at heart. There were no hidden agendas. And that you wanted me to grow, not only as a tennis player, but as a person, that you cared about me as a person as well, and not just as a tennis player. Thank you so much, Nick, for everything that you've done for me and in my career, on and off the court. It means so much to me. Yes, as Nick said, a year later, I won my first Grand Slam tournament, which was incredible. That year in January, we set the goals in the beginning of the year, and I said, okay, my goal is to win a Grand Slam tournament and finish in the top 5. So by 2 weeks into the year, I won the Australian Open, and I was number 3 in the world. I'm like, okay, now I need to sit down and revisit the goals for the rest of the year. So success came fairly quickly after I decided to come back and play tennis again. And as my career went on, I had incredible success and being number 3 in the world. And it probably looked like, from the outside and to the whole world, that I had everything. And that my life was great. And that it was perfect. And that I was living the dream. And that everyone probably wanted to live the life that I was living. But no one could see inside. No one could see my heart. No one could see the pain or the suffering that I was carrying around with me every day, or the emptiness, or the fact that I always felt like something was missing in my life. And I could never figure out what that was. I couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't know what it was. Until one day, there was a fellow player on the tour that I noticed. It was so special and so different than everybody else. And I said, this girl, she's got something. And she started to become my friend. And I really felt that she cared about me as a person and not just as a tennis player, was concerned about me. And we became friends on tour. And meeting Linda was a turning point in my life. Linda, you shared your faith with me. And I'll never forget the conversation that we had. When you asked me if I knew who Jesus was and if I had a personal relationship with him, I thought, no, I don't know what that is. And how you explained how much God loves me and that he had a plan for my life. And I just knew what you were telling me was the truth. And I knew that what you were telling me was speaking directly to my heart. And I knew that what you told me was exactly what I was looking for. So I want to thank you, Linda, from the bottom of my heart, for having the boldness to speak to me about Jesus, who in March of 2000 became my Lord and Savior and changed my life forever. I knew that I wanted to have the assurance, 100% in my heart, of salvation, which you had, and I had never met anybody before that had that. And I knew that that's what was missing in my life. And the moment that I gave my life to Jesus is when he came and he touched my heart. He healed my heart. And I know that he had forgiven me for everything, for all of my sins, that I was saved, that I had eternal life, and that I was going to heaven. And that's what gave me the greatest peace in my heart, more than anything in this world. And that's what I was looking for, was peace. And that fulfilled my heart. That emptiness that I had and that I felt was filled. And I've never felt empty or that something was missing in my life or didn't have that peace or that joy from that day until today. It's been 19 years. So thank you, Linda. I love you. So from that moment on, I knew that it was God that gave me the gift to play tennis. It wasn't my plan. I wanted to be a pediatrician. But God had another plan for my life, and he gave me the gift to play tennis, just like when Kevin saw me play the first day, thought I'd been playing for years like other kids. Because God gave me that gift, and it was his plan for my life to play tennis. So I'm so grateful for that. And the second miracle, the first miracle is obviously knowing Jesus in my life. The second miracle is winning Roland Garros. That was always a dream, and it was always so difficult, and I thought it would never happen in my life. And showing up to that tournament and always having difficulties dealing with the media, the press, the stress, the expectations of the whole country riding on your shoulder, I was able to go to that tournament in peace and just know that everything was in God's hands and I could just relax and just give 100% and enjoy it. So to win the French Open was my ultimate dream in tennis, and it came true. And also win the doubles with Martina Hingis was like the cherry on top to do the singles and the doubles. So it was just incredible to see my dream in tennis come true. And my third miracle was being able to forgive my father. As I said earlier, it's very well known the relationship that we had and things that happened in the past. And for me, when I left my family at 18, I was never going to see my father again. I was never going to talk to him again. So at 25 years old, having won the French Open, and knowing how I was forgiven and that I had changed, it was very clear that I needed to forgive my dad. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without the Lord. And to be able to forgive him, and that not only that I was able to forgive him, but the miracle is that my heart was healed, because it was shattered into 1,000 pieces and it was broken. But my heart was healed. And not only that, but also then I had a love for my father that I never had before. And our relationship was restored. And it took some time, but we had a beautiful father-daughter relationship after that. After I won the French Open the following year, I had injuries, and I was out for 7 months. I went down to 300 in the world. I was totally out of shape. And by the time I was able to start to come back and train, it was like I had to start from zero. And I had an incredible team around me that believed in me, and I knew that my time wasn't over and that there were still great things for me to accomplish. So I always listened to that voice that was in my heart. At 2005, I was 30 years old, and I had one of my best years on tour. People thought that I was done, and that why is Mary still playing? She's won the French, that was her dream. She's 30 years old, she should just retire. But I knew in my heart that I wasn't done. I remember I was at the French Open at Roland Garros, just before the 2005 edition. I was in the gym working out, and there was a man, a French tennis coach, that came up to me, and he said, "Oh, Mary, you're here." I said, "Yes." "What are you doing here?" I said, "Well, I'm here to play the French Open." "Oh, really?" And he laughed at me. I said, "Yes." He said, "Oh, okay, well, maybe you'll win a match or two." And I thought, what? I said, okay, and I just smiled, but inside I said to myself, well, we'll see who's laughing last. And I made the finals. So for me, it just taught me to always believe in yourself, to always listen to that voice inside, no matter what anybody says, that you can't do it, but you can, to always believe in that. And I always played with all of my heart. I always did my best. I always learned from my mistakes. I always wanted to be better. The competition wasn't the others, but it was myself, not anybody else. I left it all out on the court. I gave 100%. I have no regrets, and I'm proud of that. I'm looking forward to what is ahead. I have some exciting projects in my heart that I'd love to accomplish in this next phase in my life. And I would never, ever be up here if it wasn't for everybody that helped me along this road, on and off the court. So I've thanked you, Alvaro. I've thanked Germán Aguero. Late Germán Aguero used to coach me. Liana, you're here. Thank you so much for being here. You know how much I loved your father and how much he helped me. Sven, Craig, thanked you, Nick and Kevin. My strength and conditioning coaches who worked with me. Jose Rincon is here. He was with me when I won the Australian Open in 1995 and trained me. Thank you so much, Jose, for all of the hard work that we did together, and thank you for being here. Mark Verstegen, Xavier Moreau, all the doctors, the physios, the osteos, the massage therapists, Dr. Montalvon. I wouldn't have been able to do anything I did in my career if it wasn't without him. My sparring partners that I had along the way, Ricardo, who's here. Thank you, Ricardo Mendeville, Bobo, Marcelo, Gerald. My agents and supporters, Virginia, Gavin, my lawyer, Bob, who made sure that he read everything before I signed it. What about Bob? And Fabien, my agent who's here with me now, thank you so much for your help and everything that you've done. I want to thank the WTA Tour and not only the WTA Tour, but the WTA family. The WTA is a family. We spend our lives on the tour, and you guys are giving your lives for us to be able to do what we can do. And I'm so grateful that you're here today, Kathleen, for you and your team, Kathy, keeping my body together, being able to go out and play. I don't know, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Sharka, who's also here. I want to thank Billie Jean King. Billie Jean King called me yesterday to congratulate me. She couldn't be here, but that meant so much to me because I'm so grateful to Billie Jean King for what she has done. And the original 9, Rosie, because if it wasn't for the boldness and the guts of Billie Jean, Rosie, and the original 9, there would have not been a WTA Tour, and I wouldn't have not been able to play. So I'm so grateful for that. To the FFT, the ITF, to all of my wonderful friends who are here, JC in the house, my California mom watching, all other former players. I want to thank the players for making me a better player and a better person, all of the Hall of Famers that have called me and sent me messages over the last few days, Monica especially, who's encouraged me. Thank you so much for being here. And my chosen family, the family of God, and my family that's here from Mauritius that have come to support me, Audrey, Carol, Dash, Biji, thank you so much for being here. I'm trying to cry last, so I'm thinking, who am I going to share at the end? My family, all of my cousins and aunts and uncles in France, because they took care of me when I first arrived. I want to thank my mom. Without you, I wouldn't be here. There aren't really words to express my heart to you and how grateful I am to you and for your life that was given for me and for my tennis every day, 24/7. You didn't work, you stayed at home. You're a professional mom, you're the best. And always a support, always a pillar, and always there taking care of me, helping me all the time, every day, to help me do what I did in my tennis. And I'm just so, so grateful, Mom, for everything that you've done for me and that you're doing for me. And I love you so, so much. Okay, sorry. The last thing, my brother David, I love you. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for me. I wouldn't have done it without you. My best years, 2000, 2005. Thank you so much. To my dad, who did everything for me in the first 8 years of my tennis. To all of my fans, thank you for your love and your support. Merci à tous mes fans qui sont en France. Je vous aime. Thank you for your support. To all my fellow inductees, congratulations. To everyone at the International Tennis Hall of Fame, to Stan, Todd, Diane, everyone who voted for me, thank you so much for making yet another miracle possible in my life today. This is an amazing honor. I'm humbled, privileged to now be a Hall of Famer. I'm so grateful. I will remember this day for the rest of my life. Thank you, everyone. May the Lord bless you, and I give all the glory to the Lord.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about one more round of applause for Mary Pierce? Well, because of the length of the semifinal matches during the Hall of Fame Open, which were so compelling, and we hope that you enjoyed them, in the late hour, the light is getting dim, and so because we want to hear full comments from the other two incoming Hall of Famers, we are going to condense the program to a degree and introduce the Hall of Famers directly and ask them to be escorted to the podium, one at a time, by their presenters. And so, would you please join me in welcoming the second member of the class of 2019, a two-time Grand Slam singles champion and a legend in Russian tennis, new Hall of Famer, Evgeny Kefelnikov. He is accompanied by his presenter, Larry Stefanki.
Dobry wieczór, or good evening. First, congratulations to all the nominees this year and inductees, but I'm here to honor Evgeny Kafelnikov. I had the privilege of coaching him for 3 years on the tour, and we've remained friends for the past 23 years. A lot of people ask me this question: how does a Russian end up being coached by an American? Well, I'll tell you, I've coached many players from various places around the globe and have found that athletes are athletes regardless of where they come from, and Yevi and I just got connected. We have a very similar thought process on how to go about reaching the top of our sport and consistently competing at the very top level. Yevi learned the game of tennis old school style. He was definitely a workhorse. Early on, he learned the importance of fundamentals, footwork, repetition, fitness, and a work ethic that would bring him great success on tour. He definitely had the mindset of a champion early on and the self-belief that would propel him to the top of the game. Yevi won 26 singles titles, including 2 Grand Slam singles titles, the '96 French Open and the '99 Australia Open. He won 27 doubles titles. It included 4 Grand Slam titles, 3 Frenches, and 1 US Open. He won the gold medal in singles in the 2000 Sydney Olympics, and I think that's as big, if not bigger, than a slam, because it only happens once every 4 years. He won the Davis Cup as a member of the Russian team, beating France in France, and he became the first Russian male to reach the #1 singles ranking in '99. Also, he was the last man to win singles and doubles in a Grand Slam event, the '96 French Open. He was a workhorse, playing both singles and doubles most weeks. Evgeny and competition merely went together. He always showed up to win. He loved the big matches and played his best tennis under the most extreme pressure. He absolutely cherished being under the gun to have to win a match. Besides all his accomplishments, Yevi is a very generous individual. He's donated his 2001 and 5th Moscow Open victory in a row to the Siberian air disaster on the Black Sea. He started a pediatric hospital in his hometown where the kids could not afford surgeries. And he also started an academy in his hometown outside Sochi, which started his playing career. Yevi and I have also shared the love of golf. And after having retired from the tennis tour, he has pursued it at a very competitive level. People don't know it, but he actually won the Russian National Championship in 2011 and was the #1 ranked golfer in Russia. It's been a great journey, Pards. You are now part of the tennis history forever and a new member of the Hall of Fame. Congratulations. Now I'm honored to present to you all the new Hall of Famer for 2019, my dear friend, Evgeny Kafelnikov.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mary, it's going to be hard for me to beat your speech. Let me tell you that. But I can assure you, I'll try my best. Dear ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you how honored I am standing in front of you tonight on such a important day for me. Let me first start mentioning 2 people that are most important persons in my life. Ever since on the 18th of February 1974, I came into this world. They've been around me. I'm sorry. They did best I could. I felt nothing but love, warmth, and care. Mom and Dad, I know you're watching it. I love you so much. You've been there for me through thick and thin. I love you. And when I come back home, we will celebrate this wonderful day. Now I'm coming to the part where who are responsible for all of my accomplishment or involvement on the tennis court. It's been 3 people. First one was Valeri Shishkin, the guy who told me how to properly grip the tennis racket and all the fundamentals which I had during my career. And I tell you one story. You know how juniors at the age of 9, 10, they're trying to imitate their idols. You know, I was 9 years old. I was trying to figure out what should I have, one-handed backhand or two-handed backhand. And he said to me, look, Evgeny, I don't know what you're thinking, but your two-handed backhand will make you win so many titles. So ever since, I never had one-handed backhand, so two-handed backhand was my shot, especially up the line. The second one was late Anatoly Lepeshin. He basically was like a second father to me, who told me how to compete, how to behave on the court, and how to be very professional. I remember first year that I turned pro, 1992, where January in Portugal, playing satellites, basically housing, and it was 6 in the morning. He woke up and basically was looking after me, making me ham and cheese omelets, and that's the story. And then, obviously, my success at the young age really belongs to him. You know, winning my first major in Paris in 1996. He never gives me. He was never giving me any freedom, so-called, if I can say that. We were practicing 5-6 hours a day. So I'm thankful to him very much so. And then, of course, parts where you are. Yeah. You all know that the professionals go through up and downs in their career. And in the middle of '98, I felt like I was struggling with motivation and desire. So my agent called me up and says, "Look, there is Larry around. I was on my own, basically. I had no coach." And then he said to me, "Look, you wanna try with Larry? He's got good reputation. He coached John McEnroe before." I said, "Yeah, let's give it a shot." And parts in those 3 wonderful years that we had together, I have accomplished a lot with you. So winning that '99 Australian Open, becoming then 3 months later in May, #1 in the world, and of course 2000 Olympics. So I value our relationship very much so till this day. You know, we've been friends for number of years, and hopefully we'll stay like that for forever. Thanks. Also, who played huge role in my tennis career, it was my management group, IMG, International Management Group. I remember in 1991, when obviously Soviet Union broke up, I left with no support at all. And at that time, obviously, Mark McCormick, Bob Kane, Chino Marchese, and my manager Bill Ryan stepped in and helped me out to develop into the tennis player. So IMG is a big key into why I'm standing before you all tonight. So at last, I want to thank the board member and voters for making this day very possible for me. And I know what it's like now to be a Hall of Famer, and I will definitely carry that responsibility for the rest of my life, and hopefully I'll be not disappointing. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Evgeny, and congratulations. When this facility was built in 1881, they conducted business by candlelight, and by gum, we're going to do the same here tonight. Thank you to the incredible staff at the International Tennis Hall of Fame for ad-libbing some lighting and for defying the conditions here. We often say, when talking about Roger Federer, that Father Time is undefeated, but we're playing Mother Nature to a draw today, so well done on the staff. Our third and final member of the International Tennis Hall of Fame for the class of 2019 is a two-time Grand Slam singles champion, a finalist on 2 other occasions, and a woman who pioneered the sport and introduced it to a nation where it is now spreading like no one could have ever imagined. Would you please welcome to the stage new member of the class of 2019, Li Na, and her presenter, Max Eisenbud.
Thank you. Brett just asked for my short version. It's lucky I have 2 versions, Brett. First, I'd like to congratulate Mary and Evgeny on being inducted into the International Hall of Fame. You've truly earned your place here, so congratulations. Li Na, where are you? Oh, sorry. I am humbled and grateful to have the honor to induct you into the International Tennis Hall of Fame. But most of all, the last 10 years have been a privilege to work with you, to witness you becoming an incredible player, woman, wife, mother, entrepreneur, author, film producer, chef, the list goes on, and an inspiration for millions of people around the world. We all know that to make it into the Hall of Fame, you have to be an accomplished tennis player. Li Na, you've been a great tennis player and an amazing champion. What I admire and I think most impressive about you is that you've been a true pioneer, not just for tennis, not just for women, but for all of China. I'd like to put things in perspective of what Li Na has accomplished. In sports, as in life, it's important to have greatness before you. LeBron James had Michael Jordan. Jordan was inspired by Larry Bird and Magic. Federer had Edberg and Becker as his heroes, and the list goes on. Li Na had nobody. There was no roadmap in China for becoming a great champion in a Western-dominated sport. There was no successful athletes in China in individual sports before Li Na. There was no Chinese Jordan, Edberg, or Federer. While the Chinese restrictive sports machine taught Li Na incredible work ethic and made her mentally strong, She couldn't get the proper tennis training. She wasn't allowed to have a manager or an agent to guide her on the path of success. She had to give up most of her earnings and couldn't afford proper coaching. She was part of a system that has never produced an individual female tennis player who ever broke into the top 70. And yet, somehow, this rose sprouted through the asphalt and overcame every hurdle in front of her. Nothing was going to stop this amazing woman from becoming a champion. While Lina's list of accomplishments is impressive, her list of firsts is yet to be eclipsed. First female tennis player from China to break into the top 30. First player from China to break into the top 10. First player from China to win a WTA title. First player from China to reach a Grand Slam final. And finally, first player not just from China, from Asia to win a Grand Slam. Billie Jean King has said that during her match against Bobby Riggs, she felt like the whole world rested on her shoulders because she knew that if she beat him, she would bring about social change. One match triggered social change for decades to come. I believe Lina is a maverick who has been carrying Billie Jean King's legacy in China for today's generation. She wasn't afraid to be outspoken. She wasn't afraid to stand up for her beliefs, and no matter what, she believed in herself. Lina's titles meant a lot more than just trophies, as her success on the court has inspired a generation of Chinese tennis players, as well as helped other Chinese athletes keep their athletic earnings. Just like Billie Jean, Lina brought about social change and transcended her sport. When Lina played her first ever professional tennis match in 2000, there was only one WTA event in China. This year, there are 9 WTA events in China, more than any nation. And the WTA championships will make their debut in Shenzhen, China this year. $116 million people in China watched Lina's Roland Garros championship match in 2011. Let me say that again. 116 million people watched her win her match in Roland Garros, a record that stands to date. Evidence of Lina's influence can be found throughout China with a rising number of cutting-edge tennis academies with sophisticated training techniques all over the country, producing, hopefully, the next generation of Linas. In 2004, there were roughly 2 million tennis fans. By the time Lina reached the Australian Open semifinals in 2010, the number rose to 12 million. Today, there are more than 35 million people in China playing tennis, with 30,000 available tennis courts in the country. Tennis is the fastest growing sport in China thanks to you, Lina. Lina, you've been an inspiration to millions of people to not just pick up a tennis racket, but to believe in themselves, to not be afraid of a challenge, and to stand up for their beliefs. You've empowered women all over China to pursue their dreams. And you never lost your authenticity, your kindness, and your great sense of humor. You've changed the hearts and minds of people all over the world, and I couldn't be more proud to call you a client, and most importantly, a friend. Congratulations, Hall of Famer.
Okay, I will try my speech like my name, short as ever. Thanks, Max. I think it is the only age I has. We started working in 2009. I hope I have been a very good player in your opinion, right? I think it's a great honor to be a Hall of Famer and join the great names of the tennis legends. This is a big prize, also inspiration for my professional tennis career. It's mean for me like everything. Thank you. My name is Lina. It's from China. Lina is pretty simple and a common name in China. I will guess maybe they have 1 million same name like me in China. Yeah, I was so happy with that choice. Yeah, but not a choice on mine. But I have to say, sometimes it's not bad, right? I started playing tennis when I was 8. My mom chose for me. So even she's not interested about any sport, but good choice. Yeah. I started by 8. During the time, I hate tennis. Honestly, I hate. Because after school, I have to come to the tennis court. No time, play with my friend. Yeah. So what I should say? Not bad. At least I'm staying here right now. Yeah. When the time went by, I really enjoyed this amazing sport. Looking back for the past year, I'm grateful a lot of the people when have powered me. I want to think about the Hubei team when I was growing up, also China Tennis Federation, and all my coaches. The tough training days, the tear of the lose, the excitement after wins, the tireless work for the team, the support from friends, also the family. All of this have resulted in this only Lina and cannot be achievement without any of you. Tennis has taken me around the world, explored different countries. Also, because of this great sport, I have learned self-control and become better organized. I think for this, I can benefit lifelong and more importantly, not only on the tennis court. It has been 5 years after my retirement. In the past 5 years, I enjoyed better work and a life balance, and most importantly, I got 2 children. Yeah. But sad, same husband. In the future, I will do all I can to inspire, to help more young and upcoming players, and I hope they can enjoy this amazing sport.
最后还要感谢这么多年来一直支持我的球迷，谢谢。
So, yeah, thank you everyone in here, and also thanks for the International Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now have 3 new champions that have been added to the permanent roster of tennis's all-time greats. We celebrate their achievements, their commitment to the sport, and their embodiment of tennis's core values, and we hope that they will return to Newport, their new home away from home, often. And so, one last time, we will invite to stand on the stage and receive your congratulations, the class of 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, Mary Pierce, Evgeny Kefelnikov, and Li Na. Congratulations. Can you just scoot down a little bit? That concludes our program for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks to the Hall of Fame for a memorable first nighttime ceremony. Good night, everybody.